Prana is energy that originates from the sun and permeates all of creation, both physical and non physical, living and non living. It is the vital energy that animates the human body and is called Qi in Chinese. The tunnels through which prana moves are called nadis, and there are 72,000 nadis in the body. The junctions where multiple nadis meet are called chakras. In fact, our body has a separate, unseen layer called the pranamaya kosha, which consists of the entire nadi chakra system. Of the 72,000 nadis, the three major ones are Sushumna, Ida, and Pingala. Sushumna is the most important nadi, wherein Kundalini Shakti or serpent power arises. Pingala carries energy that comes directly from the sun, and Ida carries lunar energy or that which is reflected from the sun by the moon. We also absorb prana that is reflected by other planets. Hatha Yoga, where Ha is the sun and Tha is the moon, is a method to balance these energies. So, we are all connected to the sun, the moon, and the planets. Not by fluke, but by the very design of our bodies. The earth too has rivers of prana, and the path in which this energy travels is called a ley line. These earth energies revitalize mind, body, and soul, and that's why many ancient sacred sites in the world are located on ley lines. Sacred sites are also brimming with electromagnetic energies and usually have underground springs attached to them, which are high in prana. The convergence of multiple ley lines results in a powerful vortex that can enhance human consciousness. Today, the 7 most powerful of these energy centers are considered the Earth's chakras, of which Mount Kailash is the crown chakra. Mansarovar is a sacred lake near Mount Kailash, and UFOs are seen coming out from the lake every night. What does the UFO presence right next to the most powerful energy center on Earth indicate? Is it just a coincidence that these aliens are so close to Mount Kailash? This video seeks answers to these questions. To start with, a brief intro to the 4 well-known alien races. The small greys. The stereotypical alien visage is from this species, which are 4 feet tall and mostly grey-skinned. They are notorious for human abductions, during which they are said to walk in through walls and locked doors in order to carry out the abductions. They are said to be cold and emotionless, and just like ants and bees, they have a hive mind, which means they have more of a collective consciousness rather than an individual one. And they take on the form of other animals, usually an owl. The tall greys, 6 to 7 feet tall, usually seen inside the crafts. They are believed to have a lot more compassion than the small greys. Reptilians. They are rarely seen, which is actually a good thing as they are terrifying to behold, being 7 foot tall lizard-headed beings and usually hostile to humans. Abductees have witnessed reptilians morphing into humans. The mantids, named for their striking resemblance to the praying mantis, except they're 7 to 8 feet tall. Not fun to see in one's bedroom in the middle of the night. These insectoids are believed to be a very ancient race, not just 1,000 or even 100,000 years older than us, but millions of years older than us. They have unimaginable technology, are masters at genetic engineering, and adept at manipulating DNA. The Nordics. As the name implies, they are blue-eyed, blonde, and light-skinned. They look like humans. The small greys, tall greys, reptilians, and mantids are a hierarchy with the mantids at the top. Though most alien abductions happen in America, there are accounts from all over the world. During abductions, no words are spoken. Professor John Mack was a Harvard professor and a Pulitzer Prize winner who wrote a book called Abductions: Human Encounters with Aliens. According to him and countless other abduction researchers, aliens can actually communicate with humans using telepathy. A few abductees have witnessed the mantids communicating among themselves using a strange series of clicking sounds. Many people are familiar with the Indian yogi Sadhguru. If you search on YouTube, you will find one video of Sadhguru in which he actually interacted with the aliens in Mansarovar Lake. Please note that the following is my own personal opinion and interpretation of this event. So, which of these alien groups was Sadhguru interacting with? If you watch the video, he mentions that they are in a group. According to everything I've read and learned on this subject, the only entities among the alien races that have a hive mind are the Greys and to some extent the Mantids. The reptilians and the Nordics do not have a hive mind. From this, one can conclude that the beings living in Lake Mansarovar are the Greys. But the question is the Greys' proximity to Mount Kailash just a coincidence? Consider Lake Titicaca in South America. Located at a very high altitude in the Andean Mountains, this lake straddles both Bolivia and Peru. It's a massive lake at 200 kilometers long, 80 kilometers wide, and almost 1 kilometer deep. Its freezing Andean temperatures, along with the high altitude air, make it almost impossible to explore. Lake Titicaca is no stranger to UFOs. Here's a review that someone wrote on TripAdvisor over 10 years ago. So, more than 16,000 kilometers away from Mansarovar, high in the Andes, we have another freezing lake in which again UFOs are seen. Many visitors to the lake say they can sense its powerful energies. It is considered the Earth's sacral chakra. And just like Lake Mansarovar, Lake Titicaca too is sacred to the locals. What are the legends of this place? According to the Inca creation myth, the god Viracocha arose from the depths of Lake Titicaca to create the first man and woman. Later, Manco Capac, the founder of the Incan Empire and the son of the sun god, emerged from the lake with his wife. He revolutionized the lives of the people living there by bringing them the knowledge of growing crops, building houses, weaving cloth, etc. This event is so important to the locals that even today, hundreds of years later, it is celebrated. Once a year in Peru, a beautiful festival is held in which actors play the part of Manco Capac and his wife emerging from Lake Titicaca. So there are actual legends of advanced beings that emerge from the lake to help humans. Not to mention the underground tunnels that Manco Capac is said to have traveled in. The distance from Lake Titicaca to Cusco is about 375 kilometers, making it a long and vast tunnel system. The shamans of the indigenous tribes here are aware of a few of the tunnels there, but whether these are the same tunnels mentioned in the distant past is unclear. Either way, the location and purpose of these tunnels is a heavily guarded secret known only to the shamans. To this day, UFOs are seen entering and exiting the lake. So, what is lurking under the lake? Is there any link between the UFOs and these legends? Now on to Mount Shasta, California. This mountain is said to be the Earth's base chakra. An active volcano, it is famous for its lenticular cloud formations, which occur there with tantalizing frequency. In fact, a Google search for Mount Shasta clouds delivers this result. UFOs have been seen emerging from these clouds so many times that UFO researchers are convinced that these clouds are used as cloaking devices for UFOs. Residents of the small town of Shasta nearby say they're accustomed to lots of unexplained phenomena, such as silvery discs disappearing right into the mountain top, and of strange lights in the night sky performing crazy maneuvers which are just not possible with current technology. But these lights are nothing new. Even in the 1940s, these unexplained lights were so famous that passengers on trains traveling through the area would try to catch a glimpse of them. The most popular story about Mount Shasta is that a highly advanced race of beings live under the mountain in subterranean chambers. Their land under the mountain is crystalline and is called telos. Unlike the greys near Mount Kailash, they look human and are known as the tall whites. They have light skin, are 7 feet tall, and dress in white robes with sandals. They are a different race from the Nordics. Some people believe that the tall whites are not aliens, but the remnants of an ancient civilization called Lemuria who went underground to escape from a catastrophic worldwide deluge. This sounds crazy. Is it just an urban myth? Whether they're aliens or Lemurians, we will never know for sure, but there does seem to be an advanced race of beings living in the lake. Paul Hellyer was a former Minister of Defense for Canada. He was responsible for consolidating all 3 arms of the Canadian defense, the Army, the Air Force, and the Navy, into a single entity known as the Canadian Forces. Paul Hellyer has been outspoken about aliens, including the tall whites. He says the tall whites are light years ahead of us in technology and that there are 4 main alien races on Earth today. What are the Native American legends about this mountain? To the Winneminwintu, who've been living here for 8,000 years, the mountain is not only sacred but of paramount importance. They say it is their very origin, that in the distant past, their ancient ancestors emerged out of this very mountain. Mount Shasta is so vital to them that they're trying hard to prevent the raising of a dam nearby, which will submerge many of their sacred sites. Over-tourism is destroying this beautiful mountain. Sometimes it's best to enjoy nature's beauty from a distance, and Mount Shasta too is one of these places. Once again, the same question arises. Is there any connection between these legends and the UFO activity at Mount Shasta? A 3-kilometer high rock soaring out of a barren desert landscape, Uluru is stunningly beautiful. This colossal rock is like an iceberg in the sense that a significant portion of it remains under the ground. And being the solar plexus chakra of the earth, a powerful vortex of energy is present here. It is sacred to the oldest continuing culture in the world, the Aborigines, which means that Uluru has been sacred for over 30,000 years. It is both disrespectful and forbidden to climb Uluru due to its significance to the Anangu people. The Anangu believe that all of creation began here when spirit beings arose from the underworld and came down from the heavens to create landscapes and life on earth. They also believe that many of these ancestral spirits still live in the rock and in the land beneath it. Sacred rituals and prayers are carried out to this day in the many caves that lie along the base of Uluru. So, just like the grey aliens living in Lake Mansarovar, here too are invisible spirit beings living in Uluru, and according to the Anangu, even responsible for mankind's creation. Could there be any connection between these two sets of entities? The rock paintings across Australia by other Aboriginal groups like the Vorora and the Nyagrinyan are between 12,000 to 3,000 years old. These paintings are 5,000 years old and depict ancestral beings. Some people feel that these resemble grey aliens. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. The actual greys are described as having slits for mouths, whereas these paintings of the ancestral beings are without lips. The reason given by the Aborigines for this curious depiction is that these beings are so advanced they can communicate perfectly without speech. Remember, alien abductees say that the greys communicate via telepathy. Is this the reason they're painted in this manner, if indeed these are the greys? And remember how greys are associated with owls? The owl is sacred and special to the Anangu people too. Only 2 of the 7 energy centers that are the earth chakras are man-made. Stonehenge is one of them. Up to 14 ley lines are said to converge at Stonehenge, making the area a powerful energy vortex. These megaliths are 23 feet tall and weigh over 20 tons each. The biggest mystery about Stonehenge is how people haul these massive megaliths to this area using only primitive Stone Age technology. Theories also abound as to the purpose of Stonehenge, which some people believe was used to mark the equinoxes and the solstices. In fact, many sacred sites such as Chichen Itza, Angkor Wat, etc., were built to mark the solstices as well as the equinoxes. Why are these events so important? Apart from the change of seasons, there is also a spiritual significance that all ancient cultures were aware of. For example, in the yogic tradition, it is believed that during solstices and equinoxes, energy portals open and the earth is flooded with prana and other cosmic energies. These energies are most potent in places that are located on ley lines and energy vortices. So, over and over, we see that the energies at these places play a vital role, and Stonehenge is a UFO hotspot. The county of Wiltshire, where Stonehenge is located in, is famous for its crop circles, which many believe are created by UFOs. Next, the pyramids of Giza. Originally, the 3 pyramids of Giza were encased in highly polished limestone, making them shine like sparkling white crystals in the hot Egyptian desert. Even today, the Great Pyramid of Giza is a strikingly beautiful monument and is considered the throat chakra of the earth. Ancient Egyptians were obsessed both with the skies and with the underworld. A large system of tunnels and caves, thousands of years old, lie right under the Giza pyramid, according to explorer Andrew Collins. He says that in the year 1817, explorers such as Henry Salt and Giovanni Cavalier investigated an underground tunnel system near the Giza pyramids. Working with Egyptologist Nigel Simpson, Collins says he located the entrance to the ancient tunnels using Henry Salt's accounts as a guide. The entrance was found in another tomb near the Great Pyramid, and Collins says they explored the tombs till the air became too thin to continue, and the presence of cavities in the ground, along with deadly venomous spiders, made the area unsafe for further exploration. According to Collins, ancient Egyptian texts, known as the funerary spells, referred to a subterranean world right by the pyramids. Interestingly, the ancient Egyptian name for Giza is Rostor, which means the mouth of passages, and Collins says this is a reference to the catacombs. Zahi Hawass, the director of antiquities in Egypt, has denied the existence of these tunnels. As usual, getting to the truth in these matters is always a challenge, and we may never know with 100% certainty whether these tunnels exist or not. The very word pyramid comes from Greek, where pyra means fire and mid means the middle of, which seems like an obvious reference to energy. Due to its location on a vortex, the Giza pyramid contains high levels of prana and other cosmic energies. Sensitive people can actually feel the beneficial energies here and say that the temples and monuments nearby have powerful energies that are very different from each other. It makes you wonder if the temples and monuments at Giza were built to harness different energies. The Indian yogi Sadhguru says that Indian temples are energy centers. Is it possible that the pyramids too were designed for this purpose? Apart from these spiritual energies, there has always been a lot of speculation about the true purpose of the pyramids, that they were actually built to generate energy that could be used to perform specific functions. we may never know the truth, but recently physicists have discovered that the Great Pyramid can actually concentrate electromagnetic energy in its internal chambers and under its base. So, the energies present, whether metaphysical or electromagnetic, seem to play an important role at these sacred sites. This brings us to Glastonbury, considered an earth chakra. Steeped in myths and rich in history, Glastonbury is famously associated with the legendary King Arthur and is believed that the Holy Grail is hidden here. The legends also speak of a cave under Glastonbury Tor leading to the fabled kingdom of Avalon, strikingly similar to Tibetan legends of a secret tunnel leading from Potala Palace to Shambhala. And just like Shambhala, Avalon too is believed to exist in a different realm. Welsh legends, on the other hand, say that Glastonbury is home to Gwyn ap Nudd, the king of a race of beings who live under lakes and hills. UFOs and unexplained lights in the sky are not uncommon in Glastonbury. So, what draws UFOs to places that we know have powerful energies? Bruce Cathy, a retired pilot, wrote a book about the Earth's energy grid after making a groundbreaking discovery. On several occasions, he noticed that UFOs tend to fly right along ley lines. From his discovery, it is clear that ley lines are important to UFOs. But what could the reason be? As we know, migratory birds navigate thousands of kilometers over the ocean every winter and back across to their homes later without any landmarks to guide them. This was a mystery till recently when scientists discovered that birds use the Earth's magnetic field for navigation. What's more, the magnetic field is visible to birds' eyes, whereas we can't even see it. Could it be that UFOs too use the Earth's magnetic field to navigate? Which could explain why they are often seen cruising right along ley lines and the ancient sacred sites built on them. More research needs to be done on this.